Okay. Hey, oh my gosh. I have been trying to go live for 10 minutes. I don't know if it was my internet or Facebook, but here we are. Yay. Chicken, you want to come over here, baby? No? Okay. Well, gosh, I have so many things to update y'all on. And the truth is, hey, Rebecca, how you doing? I keep getting all these weird letters from Florida, where I used to live, saying that, from all these like attorneys' offices saying that the state of Florida owes me $3,000 and they'll get it for me. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I've got like 3 letters about it, so I'm pretty excited. I don't know. If Florida owes me money, I want it. How are y'all doing? It has been, I guess it's been a minute. I feel like I've done some live videos lately because I used to like get online and be like, it's been a while, but it hasn't really. Hey, Donna, how are you doing? I am having a wonderful day, actually. I'm working on my book and I don't know, I cleaned my house. That's kind of exciting. Okay, when I showed you that I cleaned my house, and the first thing you saw was like a pile of clothes, let's ignore that. I did clean my house, okay? It isn't a scam. I might be, Deronda. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to call and see. But, well, who wants to know about my new story? Because I just stumble into these things, I guess. I mean, I don't really. Yes, I do. Last year, well, actually for the last 2 years, we did what was called Moving Kindness. And I kind of just like left my heart and mind open for God to point out anybody that needed my love and assistance. And then I would mobilize this community to meet those people and their needs. And over the last couple years, we've literally, quite literally, raised $500,000 doing this. I know that's insane. It really is. Because I see people's names in this comment section who every time we do a Moving Kindness, they participate. Sherry, you're one of them. I see you and I know it and I appreciate you. Last year we helped Ukraine. We did hurricane relief. We helped a lady who was one of my, who was a CSA survivor. Gosh, y'all, we did so much last year. And I took a break. I took a break from it for a couple of reasons, and so I'm going to update y'all on that, okay? So what I didn't tell y'all, because it wasn't your fault, is that last year when I raised all of that money, I got taxed on it. Whoopsie daisy. So I had to like go get some infrastructure on this stuff because I was like, oh God, that's not good. So anyways, that ended up being my whole tithe for the year. I'm like, well, I guess this is all that I get to do is pay my taxes, but you know, it's fine. And they can see your gray hair is already old. I don't know what that comment means, but I indeed do have gray hair. I'm not offended about it. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. Huve. So yeah, that was not great, but I got it all sorted. You know, I paid my debts to society. And we're back with infrastructure this time so that next time y'all participate, 1, you'll get a tax deductible receipt at the end of the year. And 2, I won't get screwed for my niceness. 'Cause that sucked. Talk about no good deed goes unpunished, huh? So let me tell y'all what we're doing, okay? And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Honestly, I am still processing the fact that this even happened. I can't believe it's legal, and it just makes me sad. So let me jump in. Trigger warning, the family I'm going to be talking about today experienced domestic violence, and I'm going to share some of the details of that story, and it happened this weekend. And I am trying to help this woman. We will call her K, like the letter K, escape. So here's what happened. And you guys, if you have any legal advice for this, I haven't even consulted an attorney yet, but I am going to help this woman. So I have a friend that works at a small medical clinic. And one of her colleagues this weekend came running inside at the beginning of her shift. I'm going to shut my door. I don't want anybody. I don't know why I'm shutting my door. You know what? It's weird that I do this. It's weird that I shut my door every time I'm talking to somebody about something heavy, even though there's nobody in my house. I guess it's just my OCD. Okay, so she came running into the office and said, please do not let him in. And her colleagues were like, what are you talking about? And her boyfriend, a big guy, came kind of like busting in the door. And they were like, sir, you're not a patient. You don't have a patient here. You need to leave. And he was really ominous and threatening. And she seemed really scared, but he left. She was walking out to the parking lot at the end of her shift, and he was there. And apparently some customers were also there. I say this because y'all won't believe what happened next. It's the most upsetting thing I've heard in a very long time. So he attacked her in the parking lot. He pulled her into his car. He started hitting her in his car. Somebody yelled that they were calling the police and to try and block him into the parking lot, but he escaped. He drove 95 miles an hour down, up and down the mountain in Huntsville, Alabama, with her in his car. Luckily, one of the clients at the medical center followed him going that fast while on the phone with the police so he could help them find where they went. The man pulled his car onto her front porch, like through the yard, onto her porch, dragged her into the house, and started beating her. Thank God the police showed up. But this is, I only know about this because of my dear friend. So I'm just letting y'all know this is how this all got to me, okay? And I'm so sorry if this is triggering to many of you. It was very triggering to me as well. The company fired her for bringing the danger to work. Apparently, she called him to pick her up because she had no other ride home. Understandably, the owner of that business did not want dangerous people coming into his place of work, somebody that could potentially kill people, kill patients, kill her. But I am deeply upset about it. I guess I understand from a business perspective letting somebody go in that situation because they didn't want the danger and the drama at their place of work. But I can't understand the lack of humanity in that decision. So I sat on it because unfortunately, hey, Christy, hey, love, it's so good to see you. Unfortunately, in Alabama, it's a right to work state, which means you can fire somebody for any reason and nobody can sue. That is how it works here. So this woman, to my knowledge, is now at home recovering, and has no job. And thank God he is currently in jail. Nobody has bailed him out, but they will. And then what? So this is where I was like, I need to figure out my shit so that we can do another moving kindness to help this woman. So I got on the phone with an attorney and an accountant this morning, and they told me what to do. So I've got a fundraiser, guys. One time, because I can't continuously do this throughout the year like we did last year, mostly because the anxiety of that tax bill like almost knocked me on my, this January. It was 5 figures and it really killed me, but we're okay. But I wanted to let y'all know I've got the infrastructure in place now so that will not happen again. And I want us to help this woman. So this is what we're going to do, okay? I want to help her get enough money so that she has no financial need or insecurity in that keeps her tied to this dangerous man. Now, full disclosure, I don't know if she's going to leave him. And because I understand that domestic violence victims, this is very complicated. She can get a restraining order, but any survivor of domestic violence will tell you that that is a piece of paper and that it doesn't keep people away from your homes. And what's really scary about it, and I would never tell somebody not to get a restraining order, but what's scary about it is statistics show that once that action is made, the next 48 hours are the most dangerous time in that relationship. So, yes, and Sheila, that is very good. So I do know of a transition home. And I've already spoken with the organization that can take her. She owns the property that she lives in, though. So it's complicated because apparently he moved in, took over the finances, financially abused her, and then she has now got no job. So he knows where to find her. She has no money, but she owns this property. In these circumstances, what I've decided is, and you're right, and this is exactly what Lauren, exactly. Domestic violence survivors are more likely to leave when they have support. So yes, they do have a safe place. Rhonda, yes, you're exactly right. They do have them in Huntsville, and I have spoken with the organization. The organization's name cannot be shared because it puts women in risk, but it's a good one, and they place multiple women. I am not sure that she wants that, but what I do want to do is give her the financial security to make that decision. Last time we did this for a family, we saved their lives. We got an entire family out of harm's way. They found a new home and had enough income for 3 months to start over. I want to do that for her. Linda, you are correct that if I raise the money and he stays, he will take that. And that's a possibility. And I always put that out there that when we are doing this kind of support, it's a high risk game, but it is a high reward game. Okay. I don't know all these rest of these details. There are no children involved. It is only adults. Thank you for asking, Susan. It is only an adult, or I would have already contacted, children's resources. So, I understand if this is not one y'all want to do, to participate in. Sue, I don't have the means to plan a trust, but I would love it if we could do that. But this is my instinct. I think that if we give her the support that she needs, that we're giving her the opportunity to leave. If she does not do that, that is not on us. If she does do that, it is on account of us. And we are only able to control the outcome of our choices, right? So I've been in a domestic abuse situation before, and I can tell you that financial insecurity is the number one reason people stay, okay? So I'm going to give y'all the ways to give. And you do not have to. I will not be upset if you do not, but I believe that we should. So what I've done is I just shared a link. It's for Moving Kindness. I put it on my website. You can give anything you want. It needs to be $5 or more though. And the reason for that is because I set taxes aside. And at the end of the year, that money will go back into the Moving Kindness account when it's a 501c. So we have a 501c pending and it should be approved. All of this money will be released to her. And then just like the 10% of taxes will be held aside in escrow until it's a 501c. So that's why I did that. If you don't want to, I would love, Lydia says, I love that we give in faith. What happens to the money after I give it is up to the recipient, and I leave that in the universe's or God's will. I agree with you. So, and I have a hard time sometimes. I actually have a harder time giving to charities, frankly. And this is why. Because when I donate to charity, I don't know what happens. I mean, I know what happens on their website. But when we do this kind of support, it is an immediate opportunity for salvation, basically. What she does with it, I don't know. But I want to give it to her. So will y'all help me? For those of you who just came here, I'm going to tell the story one more time while I share the links for us to give. If you can't give, I understand. Please ask other people to give. Please share this message. I do not do this anymore. I'll probably do it twice a year. We used to do it monthly. So it's a big ask. And I know that. I would not ask if I didn't genuinely believe in my heart that God put this woman's story right in front of me because I can make a difference. Okay. So you can give through the website, or if you would like, I will still offer my personal options for y'all to give. And this is Venmo, PayPal, and what's it called? Oh yeah. And y'all need to know this about charities, y'all. The reason I do this immediate giving with no strings attached is nonprofit organizations pay themselves. And there's some really good ones out there that I love partnering with. But I don't pay myself out of Moving Kindness. Every cent goes to the recipient, and they have all the control over what happens with it. So that's how we do things here. And I'm going to share the story one more time, but give me a second. Please don't leave. I need to go grab a copy and paste so that y'all can have access to those links as well. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Okay, so we have the link shared, and I am also sharing PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. Okay, so I'm going to share the story one more time because I don't know who is here new and who is not. Why did you stop doing these monthly? I respect whatever reason it was. I was just wondering. Oh, Shariah, thank you for asking. I don't mind doing it monthly. What happened is I was doing it regularly, and so I started getting a ton of soliciting emails with terrible stories in them, and my mental health suffered. People were asking me to like save their families, and they said they were like suicidal, and all this really horrible stuff was going on, and I couldn't deal. So I feel like I need to be a little more judicious about when I jump in and get involved, and I'm just going to have to be like more careful, you know? And then also at the end of the year, I got hit with, frankly, a $45,000 tax bill. So that was awful. And that was my donation to Moving Kindness this year. So that was like, you know, almost all of my income for the last couple months. And now y'all know why I've been stressed out. But it was my fault. You know, I didn't really plan on that. So that's why I've changed things the way we're doing things now, is to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And also to protect my mental health, because I still have other mental health problems, frankly, you know? So when we're doing the charity work, when I do it regularly, I start kind of, people start reaching out to me as if I'm an organization, but I'm just one person. I can't do it. So just occasionally. Thank you for asking that question. I really appreciate that. That was important for me to address. So I'm going to share one more time. I'm going to do a quick little wrap up, and then I'm going to ask y'all to please share this message. Please spread the word. We're going to try and raise, I don't know why, but in my head, I keep hearing this $10,000 number, maybe because that's the most we've ever raised for one family. And so it's like, maybe we can do this in 1 year. You know, we do, instead of all year long, maybe we do it twice a year or a couple times. But I'm just being very judicious about it. So one more time. I'm going to tell the story of this season's Moving Kindness, why I got involved, and why I am asking you to help. One of my closest friends works at a small medical office. So I'm starting the story over in case anybody has questions. Please stay if you can. Having viewers on the video increases its reach. So even if you've heard the story and you have time, please stay. I'm going to talk about domestic violence. We're going to talk about why we're doing it this way. My friend came over last night and she was telling me how distraught she was because one of her colleagues was fired. And she was fired because over the weekend, her boyfriend showed up to work. And basically when she was walking out to her car, grabbed her by her hair, dragged her into the car, and started wailing on her in front of customers and patients and all of this. So he peeled out of the parking lot, basically kidnapped her, and took her all the way up the mountain at 95 miles an hour, which is also abusive. Sometimes a form of domestic abuse that people maybe aren't familiar with or haven't recognized is dangerous driving. I have survived that. That is abusive. If you've ever had somebody get mad at you and start punishing you by driving recklessly, that is abuse. So it's just a red flag. That's one sign of it. That is abuse. And so when you see that, recognize it as a dangerous person. But he basically kidnapped her from the parking lot, drove her up onto the porch of her home, and dragged her inside, and then was beating her up until the police came. After all of this, she was fired from her job. I am having the hardest time with this because I've spoken with several business owners that told me they understood the firing from a liability standpoint. Not that she was a liability, but that the danger of that man showing up and maybe killing a patient or an employee, I get it. The boss and the owner of that company wanted to protect his employees. I get it, but I don't. Because if it was my company, and I've got poor boundaries is the reality of it, but I can't remove somebody's humanity from a professional situation. I don't understand firing somebody who's an abuse victim. So he's in jail, and she has a limited amount of time to make her move. And I will leave this fundraiser open for the whole week because I know some people get paid on Fridays and want to give then. But I do want to try and raise quickly and get the money to her immediately. Oh, Kayla, reach out to me. I don't know a domestic violence shelter in Birmingham that has availability, but I know one in Huntsville. And if that's an option, you can give me a call. And y'all, Alabama, where I live, is this called a right to work state, which means that her firing has no recourse, no pathway for recourse. There's nothing she can do about it. So now she is in a very fragile state with no financial security. And my goal, and I'm gonna tell y'all, it's possible she returns to him. The nature of domestic violence is such that women, it's sometimes more dangerous to leave, and they know that. But you can give her the means to leave by raising money today. And my promise to you is that she receives all of it, every single penny. And I keep my promises, and I can tell you that because I paid a lot of money on taxes from our Moving Kindness last year because it wasn't a 501c at the time, and I didn't know that. But it's now in process, and as it's in process now, when it gets approved, everything since it was in process is officially non-taxable. So we're good. I will give every penny to her, but there's no administration in Moving Kindness, the organization. There's none. It's just me. So when the money comes in, I wait, it builds, I pull it out, and I give it, and then I walk away. And this is the hardest part about being a part of Moving Kindness, okay? Yes, the links, I'll put the links up again. Thank you for asking. There's PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and then there is the link, which I'm hiding and now showing again, for my website, where you can go donate anything over $5. You are right, Debbie, and she has already been advised that she can file for unemployment. But this is a complicated situation, and she's in danger. So she owns the property. It's going to be very hard for her to evacuate that property. It's hers. But he has also financially abused her to the point where she is no longer in control of the situation. So I just lost sleep about it last night. Kayla, you can email me, mk@viraljoymedia.com. I didn't sleep, and I'm having a hard time working today, and that's why we're doing a Moving Kindness, because I know that when this is me being spiritual, but it feels like God has laid something on my heart. And I leave my heart and my mind open for when God's going to put people in front of me. It's why I don't usually ever fundraise for like emails that I receive, or when people ask me to share a GoFundMe, I don't do it. I don't do that here. Because I try and listen to what I believe is the Holy Spirit, and saying that's kind of embarrassing because I'm deconstructing, but I still believe in that. And I feel like the Holy Spirit's guiding me to help this woman. And some of y'all might just say it's the universe. And some of y'all might just be like, it's, your instincts, or I don't know what. But in my heart, I know that this is something we need to do. And together, some of us doing small things becomes very big very quickly. So we're going to do that today, y'all. We're going to help Kay. All right. And I'm calling her Kay. And that is actually not her initial at all. I chose Kay because it's short for kindness. And I try and protect all of the details. To be honest with you, I'm even protecting the detail of the workplace by changing what kind of workplace it is. So now that it's actually not a medical center, but it is a small office and there are patients there. So I am like, y'all, I'm doing my very best to make sure that nobody can figure out who she is in town, and tie this story to her. And I do that as carefully as possible. So, y'all, I believe that kindness changes the world. And if you're a Christian, I believe our job is to be the hands and feet of Jesus. This, to me, is what it looks like to love humanity and to be a good person and to show the love of Jesus. It is to meet people in their worst moments with no strings attached. And there are concerns in the comments, and I acknowledge those, that it's possible she keeps this money or he steals it. Maybe he gets access to it. And all of that is true. We completely lose control of things when we give with an open heart. High risk, high reward giving. But high risk people are the ones that need it most, and low risk giving has a low, sometimes, return. But I can tell you for a fact, as a matter of fact, that what y'all did last year saved lives. We literally got a family into a brand new house and gave them 3 months of living expenses. We got a woman out of a destroyed home in a hurricane, and she started a new life in New Jersey. We gave somebody a generator last year so that she had electricity during a terrible hurricane. And y'all's gifts go a long way because there's so many of us, a little bit all together builds. And I will give y'all the update, positive or negative. We haven't had a bad one yet. But I've also never really worked with domestic violence situations. This is my first time. And I'm just asking y'all to reach out in faith. And you know what? His bail right now is set at $80 and nobody has paid it. So it's been several days. And I think that's a good sign that nobody is going to help this man get out. So it also is a really good sign that he doesn't have access to funds. So she's got limited time. At some point, bail will get made. Natalie, I will never forget the Ukraine one because y'all raised over $100,000 for that. That was insane. Y'all are incredible. And I just cannot thank you enough for that. So I am taking a leap of faith myself. And frankly, my finances are really tight right now. So yes, Megan, I know it's disgusting. An $80 bail for that kind of crime is unheard of because frankly, I feel like he should have been charged with kidnapping if he pulled her into the car. Abuse is such an I don't even have words for it. People get longer jail time and bigger bails for traffic tickets than they do for harming women. And I think a fly just flew next to me. And that is awful, I had a friend get drunk at a bowling alley one time and go to jail. And he was in jail longer than the man that abused me when I was a child. So if that tells you how our justice system treats victims of violence, I really just, it's awful. There's very little support for women in these situations. But you know, I don't like love money. Money's not my favorite. But when it comes to getting people out of bad situations, money talks. And I know a lot of people are like, well, can we just give her food or can we give her clothes? No, we have to give money. Because when a woman is trying to escape violence, that's what she needs to pay her bills, to escape. And so that's what we're doing. And I am praying with all of my heart right now. I really want us to hit $10,000 for this. I don't know why. In my mind, when I was going to start this video, I was going to ask for 2, but I think we can get to 10. And 10, that's enough for somebody to go start a new life. And that's enough for somebody to get the protection that they need. And no, the low bail and the low penalty for domestic violence is not a state problem. It's not just an Alabama problem. It's an everywhere in the United States problem. Women in this country and children, unfortunately, just don't get protected. And, oh yes, I can post the link again. Thank you so much, Sherry, for letting me know. I have just shared the link one more time. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to share about their escape from domestic violence? And y'all, I just want to say thank you. Why in the world would any judge set bail for that crime? That guy needs to be locked up for a long time. I know that. I've been there. I was told it was up to me to leave. I lost my home. He got to stay. I'm so sorry, Rhonda. And honestly, my instinct is that the reason I'm asking, and the reason in my heart I'm setting the number at 10,000 is because my instinct is she won't be able to stay in her home, and it belongs to her. And yeah, I do think she's willing to relocate. I don't think it's ideal. I know, Raina. Oh, I've seen, I saw a $25 bail for animal abuse in Huntsville recently. The system victimizes the victims, y'all. And I hate that. You know, I'm not encouraging her to stay away from the system, but I just know how hard it can be to navigate that system. And I don't want her to have to go stay in a shelter. And I want to be honest, like there's going to be 10, I know after I get off this video, and I am so sorry for the people who are hurt by this. There's going to be people who say, I'm also in this situation and I also need help. And instead of raising all of this money for one person, can you give me just a little bit for me? I only do giving kindness when I feel God has shown me something. Not when it comes to me. When it's in my face in such a way that I cannot escape it. That's when I launch a moving kindness. And it's not that I don't believe every email I get. To my knowledge, there are no children in this home. So I'm glad y'all asked that. I want anybody, if anybody's watching and is like, I need to ask Mary Catherine for help, I am so sorry. I cannot meet every need. I have to go where God is calling me, and I believe everybody deserves the help that they need. But this is the hardest part for me in doing this work, and it's why I don't do it much, is because then I feel the weight of every hurt. When people start reaching out, begging for help, I feel that weight, and I don't know how to ignore it. It keeps me up at night. So yeah, I'm not going to do this much, but we're doing it today. Because I am 100% sure that God is putting on my heart that we got to jump in here. And I don't know what the outcome will be. Maybe we save her life and she starts all over. Maybe we're the first step in her exit strategy. Maybe she has to hit rock bottom again. And maybe she has to hurt more before she escapes. I don't know. But we're going to give her the chance. We're going to give her the chance. And then that is her choice. then the world is at least fair, because then she can escape. She has an out, you know? So let's give her an out. And frankly, when it comes to victims of domestic abuse, I don't blame them for staying. And I don't judge them for staying. Being in fear of your life and not knowing if leaving is going to result in your death is paralyzing. And it's better sometimes in your mind to stay with the monster you know than to create one that you don't think you can control. And I know that like the monster's always uncontrollable, but it's really, really impossible for somebody whose life is in danger to see that. We're talking about somebody who is surviving hour by hour, day by day. And because I've seen a couple people who are like, well, why, can she just leave? Can she? You don't know. No, it's not that simple. Oh, Anita's asking me, who do I speak of? We are, one more time, I guess we're going to tell the story 3 times because y'all have stayed on this video, and I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. Y'all's presence in the video continues to push it in the algorithm, which lets more people hear the story, which helps us raise more money. So let me tell the story one more time. And you know what, Jamie? Yes, thank you so much. You know what I'm going to do? Jamie says, hopefully people are respectful of your energy and don't reach out. Just allow this change for this particular situation today. I'm going to ask a moderator to go into my inbox this week and just clear those out because I can't handle it, right? So I'm going to tell the story one more time for those of you who just got here. If you've been here listening, consider tagging people who you know would help or sharing the video, all of the above, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to share the story one more time from start to finish for people who don't know what's going on and don't know what I'm asking. I want us to raise $10,000 today for her. And, oh, I forgot to tell y'all something. Anybody that donates through my website, I'm going to send out a discount for one of my courses. I know it's not a lot, but if you want to take one, like maybe my Tell Your Story class. I don't know, Anita. I'm not sure that I understand your question. I'm sorry. But I will be sending out as a thank you for your support. The good news is when you go to my email, when you go to my website to do this, I capture an email funnel for everybody that's involved, and I can thank you by sending out hey, I can send an email update and let you know what happened, and I can give you a discount to the course, and I intend to do that once the dust settles and we kind of know what's going on. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for telling me that you had to leave, and thanks for staying as long as you could. I'm starting the story now. For anybody that is getting started, Moving Kindness is a program that started in this community 2 years ago. I don't even remember our first one, but essentially somebody in need stumbled in my path, and it was like God put them there, and I hopped on the internet. Oh, Maria, great question. MK, does she know you're doing this? No, I never ask. I only collect information, give, and walk away. I have found that when I ask, generally speaking, people start expressing preferences of what they need, or they tell me they don't want it, or it kind of complicates things in my process. So in my process, I don't. I just feel like God asks, and I'm like, okay, we'll do it. So Moving Kindness, let me tell you a little bit of history here. There's so many domestic violence survivors here. We have Anita, who was, I'm so sorry, is a survivor. Heather's niece was murdered by her husband. And I'm so sorry that domestic violence is such a prevalent issue in this country. It stumbled in my path this week, and that's why we have a Moving Kindness that is active on my website right now. When I initiate Moving Kindness, it's because somebody has an immediate need that financially can be taken care of by this community. And in the past, we have helped with Ukraine relief. We have done hurricane relief, tornado relief, We have helped a pregnant immigrant who was injured during her pregnancy take time off of work so that she could heal. We gave her maternity leave so that she could heal. So many things y'all have done, and I have no words for the gratitude of y'all's involvement in this. Today is the first moving kindness we have activated since December of last year. And this is the story. So I had my friend come over last night, and she wanted to share something with me that traumatized her this weekend. The girl and the dog, you're right, Natalie, that was amazing. Her colleague was fired this weekend, and she was telling me how it happened, and I was so devastated because the woman, I'm sharing the link again, hide and show, boop, and then let me post the links for the personal donation. I don't have those, I'm sorry. Essentially, she's a domestic violence survivor. Her boyfriend showed up at work. She ran into the office at the beginning of her shift, asked her colleagues to keep him out, and he stayed away. However, she did not have a ride home from work. She had to call him to take her home. This is where people did not understand why she did it. They started placing blame on her. Why did she bring him back to the office if she was scared of him? Well, he lives at her house. A domestic violence survivor understands this. Other people do not. She thought, maybe, I'm sure in her mind, that after 8 hours of work, he would have calmed down or not be as dangerous, would pick her up, they'd work things out at home. Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is she walked out into the parking lot. He grabbed her, pulled her into the car, and started beating her. A customer called the police, followed the car 95 miles an hour up the mountain, reckless driving, could have killed her. Another form of abuse, by the way, for anybody that's ever been in a car with somebody who gets mad at you and then starts reckless driving, that is abuse. He drove across her yard and onto her front porch and dragged her into the house and continued to assault her until the police came. He is in jail, but we don't know for how much longer. And her company fired her for bringing the risk or the drama or whatever to work. I have spoken with multiple people today. I've spoken with an attorney. I've spoken with business owners. There seems to be an understanding of why she was fired. Maybe this man could come in and kill customers, patients, other colleagues, who knows? But I don't understand it. I don't understand the firing of a victim. And I understand them trying to reduce the danger. I get all of it. I really do. It just seemed unfeeling, you know? And so I have not met with her, but I have been collecting information from the police and from her colleagues. And she does not know that I am raising money for her. But her boyfriend is in jail. And once I have the funds, I am going to reach out, give her the money, and step away. That is how we do Moving Kindness. It is different from other organizations and charities in a couple of ways. One, we do not control how our recipients spend their money. We do not ask for an update on how they spend their money. We don't ask anything. We simply show up, meet a need, and walk away. And I have to tell you, this is hard giving because you don't get the warm, fuzzy reward of seeing the face of who you help. And I know that's hard for some of y'all. It's hard for me. It's easier to give when you have a picture of the puppy or the sad child or the work that you're doing. And sometimes, and we've seen this before in Moving Kindness, when we initiate a Moving Kindness, occasionally we will have a recipient return and ask for me to give y'all an update, in which case I can share their details. We've done that before. We've even had some recipients in the comments thanking you for saving their lives, but it's not required. There is zero requirement when we give. okay? We give, we walk away. And that's the power of moving kindness, is it puts the next step, it emboldens and empowers people financially to make their next step. You're right, Natalie, I think it's a very pure form of giving. And I do have a lot of people who reach out like, I never heard about so-and-so. And you're not going to. And if that's hard for you, don't give, because I do understand. There is no guaranteed updates here, but I try. And when they come in, I'll give them to you. So that's what we're doing right now. We are trying to support a woman in her escape from domestic violence. And what I have read and what I understand about domestic violence is that financial insecurity is the number one barrier for escaping domestic violence. Because what is a woman going to do? Leave her own home and be homeless for safety's sake? No. It's a $10,000 problem. It's a problem of, how do I not only escape this danger, but create a safe life somewhere else? And only a survivor of domestic violence understands this. And sometimes I am grateful for the men who are in here listening, but sometimes only women understand it. Because the first question that one of the men who was discussing this with me was, why did she call him to come pick her up? And I said, because she needed a ride home. Well, her colleague could have done that. Yes, they could have. But she would have been home with him. He lives there. So it's not simple. And we can never, ever, ever blame a victim. We can't do it because their mindset is not healthy. And you're right, Natalie, men get abused too. 100% they do. You're exactly right. But it's hard. Like, I'm going to read what Karen said because I really appreciate it. It's hard being broke and being in a good relationship. Oh my gosh, Karen, you are so right. I'm in a healthy, equitable marriage, and our financial stressful times cause significant stress. But needing to flee and being broke is impossible and scary. You're right. You're exactly right. And if you haven't lived abuse, you cannot understand. So today I have a high goal. I want and I hope that we can reach it. But I've never been disappointed with what we have achieved. And sometimes we don't meet our goals. And that's because I have insane goals. I want to raise $10,000 for a stranger that I've not met. Maybe my community thinks that's a bad idea. And I respect that. But I'm praying we show up and get it done. Because there's 250 people on this live right now. If we share it once and everybody gives a couple bucks, y'all, that's it. She needs funds. She needs the money to escape. And it's that simple. So I don't know how much time we have, but Natalie, that's a good question. You can donate probably all day today, and I'll certainly leave it open all week. But her boyfriend is currently in jail, and he has not been bailed out. But bail is very low, and he will get out soon. And at that point, she's in a different kind of crisis. So what I would like to do is give her enough money today that when he's bailed out, it's not a crisis for her. I mean, it's going to be a crisis, but not a financial one. So let's give her the opportunity to make that decision for herself, okay? Spencer, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go add my links. 1 second, please don't jump off the video. When I pause this, if a whole bunch of people jump off, the algorithm will repress this video and not send it out. So I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to repost the ways to donate, and then we're going to end the video, okay? You're exactly right. But if we raise $5,000, that's where her need is, trust and faith. I am stepping out in this is such a Christian thing to say. I am stepping out in faith. But I am. We all are. Christian or not, we're giving with no expectation. We're giving with hope that it works out, and just know that what you're doing is an incredible kindness that if it doesn't financially save her life at one point, it might be the kindness that does it. Maybe the money gets stolen. Maybe it doesn't help her escape. But maybe when she does and she's in a shelter and she looks around and says, nobody, what do I do? She'll remember that she is loved and people care. And sometimes that's enough, okay? Sometimes that's enough. Wait a second. I'm going to go grab some links. I'll be right back. I told you it was just a second. All right, there's a couple ways to donate. The first way is the link that I'm just sharing. When you donate through this link, it will put you in an email funnel for Moving Kindness, and I can update you through that email funnel. If you don't want to do that, the truth is, if you donate through my website, it takes 24 hours to release. That's totally fine. Don't worry about it. If you want to do immediate giving, that's fine too. I have PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, and I am posting those right now. See it right there? I just posted it. So I'm going to stay here until 12 o'clock. That's in 4 minutes, because I'm seeing a lot of giving happening right now, and I don't want to shut it down while the video's still working, while we're still raising money and helping this woman. Okay. Spencer, thank you. I'm going to read that. Chills, giving with no knowledge of the full story or without the benefit of feeling like it paid off. The benefit is not for us to gain. You're right. And you know what I'm going to tell you? It's something that it's a phrase that I coined that it probably already exists. And a fun little side note here. This week I made a post that I was so proud of. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was gosh, I don't know. But somebody commented, they were like, you stole this. I'm like, it came out of my brain. Sometimes I have good ideas, and sometimes other people have had those ideas before me, but it was my idea. So I don't remember what it was, but I did come up with this, and you're going to tell me somebody else said it first, and I don't care. When I gave my kidney to my uncle, he died. That sounds like a terrible story, right? I prayed, and God said, step out in faith, Mary Catherine. And I did. And I gave a part of my body when I was 22 years old and didn't have children yet. And I didn't know how it was going to affect me. And I love my uncle. And this was supposed to save his life. And for a minute, it did. He received my kidney. He had a new life. And for a couple of years, that was my reward. You know, he would call me and be like, I'm alive. And I felt like a hero. But then he died. Ultimately, the disease killed him. And my kidney went into the ground with him. And I went through the most depressed, confused phase of my life that I've ever been in. And I had to wrestle with anger at God. Why did you ask me to give when you did nothing with it? And God said, you don't know what I've done with it. Mary Catherine, you don't know what I've done with it. And this phrase popped in my brain, and I've carried it with me ever since. And it's honestly the foundation for this movement. The gift is in the giving. The gift is in the giving. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself that you did the damn thing and release it, and that's enough. It has to be. Giving doesn't always come back with a goodie bag, you know? Sometimes you show up to the party and you leave empty-handed. So I just want to set that expectation clearly. Moving kindness is not like other things. When we initiate this, I call it an action. When we initiate moving kindness, when we activate moving kindness, it's the gift is in the giving. We don't get to know what happens next. So make sure you know that when we jump in and do this, okay? We are meeting a person who is in crisis. We are going to do what we can, and then the reward is that you did it. That has to be enough. And y'all, I even though I'm a Christian, I believe that there is some form of karma in this world. Not the bad kind. I'm not sure that what goes around really comes around, to be honest with you. I don't really believe that. I say it sometimes because it makes me feel better. But sometimes people don't get what's coming to them. Frankly, the asshole in jail right now that beat up on that woman, he's not going to get what's coming to him, at least not in this lifetime. But what I believe is that the goodness that you sow into the world is goodness you're sowing into your own life. And I really do believe that that has a return. It's sometimes not what you expect. It's sometimes totally different than what you wanted, but it has a return. You're putting goodness in, and goodness has to come out. Goodness is this is cheesy, but I'm a writer and I'm a cheese ball. Goodness is like planting a seed. When you plant goodness, the only thing that grows from that is goodness. Moving kindness is like that. The goodness is what you're planting. And then we don't stick around to see it grow. But we have to have faith that it's going to. I will update y'all later this afternoon or this evening about how much we've raised today. I'm not going to look at it right now because I have a deadline and I am really behind on it. Quick update on a couple things. I am announcing a class at the end of the week, and I've got a shirt that I'm releasing for Pride, so keep an eye out for those. Pride is in June. Yay! We love our glittery friends, and I'm calling it. We're done. It's 12:02. We've spoken for an hour. I put everything that I can out into the world, asking for the help and claiming the goodness, and we're gonna just have faith that what happens is what needs to happen. So, one more time, I'm sharing the link. Go Gadget Moving Kindness. That is the cheesiest thing I've ever said, but I don't care. I'm not sorry about it. I've dropped links all over the place. You've got my PayPal, my Venmo, my Cash App. You have the website. You can donate literally 4 different ways. But on the website, it has to be at least $5. And that's because I got screwed on my taxes. Remember, I had to pay a lot of money, but we're good. We're done. I will update you on 2 things. I will tell you how much we've raised, and I will tell you that she's received it. Gwen, I'm hanging up the video, but if you start it from the very beginning, you will hear the story of a domestic violence victim who we are fundraising for today. I love all of y'all. You are amazing. Thank you for being the best part of this community. This is the reason I love the internet. Let's be honest, most crap on the internet sucks, but this is not that. This is the good of the internet at work. This is what happens when 200 people decide to do something and it changes a life. So let's let the internet do its thing today. It's a good thing, okay? Like, instead of letting the internet depress us or spread misinformation or discourage us with perfect Instagram pictures, let's let the internet do something special today. Let's help somebody. I love y'all very much, and I am grateful for all that you do. I will update y'all tonight on this moving kindness action. Please share. Please share. Let people know that we are giving to save a life of a domestic violence victim. And let's do this. Bye, y'all.